Hey, welcome back to the State of Love and Trust. It's episode 270, and we're talking all things Chris Cornell. In fact, have you heard about that new supergroup project called King Ultramega? The first single, Rusty Cage, just came out. William Duvall from Alice in Chains on vocals, Charlie Benante from Anthrax on the drums, Bill Kelleher from Mastodon on guitars, and the founder of the project on bass, Mark Menghi. We get into how the whole thing happened, start to finish. It's all happening next. Oh, what a conversation. Next with this guy.
What's going on? This is Mark Menghi from King Ultramega, and you are watching and or listening to the State of Love and Trust podcast.
Welcome back to the State of Love and Trust. It's a Pearl Jam podcast, and I'm one of your two hosts, Jason Kerepesi, and alongside me, as always, is...
Paul Ghiglieri.
All right, sir. We've got a hell of a show for you. I know we were off last week. We're back now, and boy howdy, do we have a show for you, Paul.
We sure do. I am stoked and thrilled about tonight's guest, and we're going to be talking a little bit of some Chris Cornell tonight. What do you say?
We sure are. I'm very excited about this new project, King Ultramega. We're talking all about it with Mark Menghi, the guy who created the whole endeavor. And I got to tease that because a couple pieces of housekeeping to get through. Of course, as we always say, if you're watching this, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications here on YouTube. If listening only, Paul, what should they be doing?
Well, they should be rating, reviewing, and subscribing on their preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm. We need it. It's the dog days of August.
Thank you for doing so. We appreciate you. By the way, the person whose review was the 100th on Apple Podcasts has not yet claimed their prize. So, reach out.
Pearls have been clutched. Are you serious?
Yeah. Seriously.
This is okay. This is a PSA. This is a PSA to that individual. Listen. There are simply not enough stickers to chuck.
Oh my God.
You need to claim that prize.
Listen, this gentleman or gentle lady really needs to get what's theirs. And that's the cross-stitch version of that guy right back there. I want to send it to you. Paul's got stickers he wants to send to you. Come on.
We're going to send you extra
Show
stickers
yourself.
if you claim it. Just claim it. Otherwise, we're raffling that bad boy off.
we will. New month, Paul, new fundraiser. We always do fundraisers each month. This month, it's UNICEF. They do obviously great stuff. Their mission is to advocate for the protection of children's rights, and they help meet their basic needs and expand their opportunities to reach their full potential. 190 countries. They've been doing this for a long time. Send them some money because they are helping the people out there. And if you send them $5 or more, I don't know if Paul has any more stickers to throw around, but I've got two right here. Boom! I just dropped the pin.
Hold on a second. I'm looking at. There it goes. All right.
Oh, there it is. And here's a pin that you can have. It's look at the focus on that. And then there's a guitar pick. It's got a backside too, Paul. There you go. There's the backside of the guitar pick. And I'll tell you what. If you donate the most money to this fine organization, how about we send you? Where is it? There it is. How about we send you this? This is a CD. And this CD is Pearl Jam's No Code show from Moline, Illinois in 2014. Fresh from Easy Street Records. This on CD could be yours. And I'll throw in the Chris Cornell mural magnet that adorns the south-facing wall of one Easy Street Records. So this could be yours as well, along with the compact disc. There it is.
Jason, is that magnet the Redux version of that mural?
No, this is the OG. This is the OG.
It's the OG.
This is the OG before Sun Duong redid it. So there you go. That could be yours. If you want to support this show, Patreon is one great way with a great community over in Discord, chopping it up on the server. And we do a giveaway each month to a random patron. This month, it's this. This is the Sean Smith Shield of Thorns compilation vinyl that came out, I want to say about a year ago. Loose Groove Records So a collection of Sean Smith's great work. You know him from Brad. You know him from Satchel. Here it is. This could be yours if you are the chosen patron in the month of August 2025. That's all I've got.
We're just giving stuff away all over the place. Just a gigaton of stuff all over the place.
Oh my God. What a pull. I'll tell you what, from one fabulous singer to another. How about that? I think that's what we should do. So let's get into the Chris Cornell appreciation project. I don't know what you would really call it besides that, but it's a hell of a project. It's called King Ultramega, and its founder and creative director, Mark Menghi, is next. Our guest this week is a native of Long Island and has immersed himself in hard rock and metal for decades, befriending and making music with the likes of Dream Theater's Mike Portnoy, Anthrax's Charlie Benante, Megadeth's Dave Ellefson, Joe Satriani, the list goes on. And his latest project aims to celebrate the music of one of our favorites, Chris Cornell. It's called King Ultramega, and not only does it honor Chris, but it does a lot of good in the process. Please welcome to the show, Mark Menghi.
What's up, fellas? Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Big fan of your show and what you guys do.
It's a pleasure, and we're honored.
Yeah, man. And like I was telling you earlier, this is the kind of one and done shot. So we are honored to be the only media outlet. No rules for this one. Let's get it all out on the table and have some fun with it.
Outstanding. I love it. Looking forward to it.
But
let our hair down.
Before we get into anything.
Yeah.
Because this is a Pearl Jam podcast. My first Pearl Jam show is Randall's Island, 1996, Ben Harper opening up.
You are a son of a gun.
My second Pearl Jam show was the old Continental Airlines Arena in New Jersey. Forgot, I think Ben Harper opened that. But my third Pearl Jam show was 1998, Madison Square Garden. And I got this from the show.
Oh, you got the actual thing.
Outstanding.
But this is damage of Hurricane Sandy.
Wow.
So this all happened. You could see.
Wow.
It's kind of fucked up. But I got this from the show. And this was floating in my parents' backyard way back when.
Floating.
It was floating. Yeah, and I salvaged it. And I guess the frame held up because... obviously it has its wear and tear on it, but this is a remnant of Hurricane Sandy, and I've had it since 1998. Obviously, I got it from the show.
Boy.
But
that's tremendous. Not only the shows themselves. Was that night 2 or night 1 at the Garden? Do you remember?
I have it written down here. This would be, let's see, September 11th, 1998.
Do you know what show that was, or is referred to as?
Yeah, with the whole the breath sign, and everyone got the little paper, the little printout, and the fucking when you got handed, and they played that. Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, man, that was fun times, man. And
fun fact, Mark, my first show was 2 nights later in Hartford.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, which state was it? Was it Connecticut?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I went.
And they played Breath at that show too. They're like, hey, I don't know if you were at the last show, but we're going to play it again. And I was like, I didn't know. I was like, an ignorant 16-year-old.
Yeah. But all these many moons later, you get to talk to a guy who was at that show. So,
yeah. What's funny is I was, don't want to date myself, but in 96 at Randall's Island.
Mark, look at this face.
Yeah.
You're worried about yourself.
Look, man, gray. You see all the gray around there?
Oh, yeah. Well, we all have kids too. That's going to help the matter.
Yeah. Well, in 1996, I was 16. I was prime. I was prime time in the middle of that world. And, being a kid at that time and sneaking on a train into New York City to take a bus to Randall's Island at 16. Back then, probably, my parents, God, rest their souls up there, probably, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And
well, I'll tell you right now. Your credibility with this audience is just skyrocketed through if it wasn't already sky high as it was, being that you've got this project here. And that's my attempt at a Paul Ghiglieri level segue. I don't know how I did there, Paul. Did you okay? Just steer that bus right into the right lane.
It's graded. It's a graded one. That's good.
Okay, fair enough.
Well,
I would say regular viewers or listeners of this show are probably tuning in because someone said Chris Cornell and their ears perked up like a curious dog. But you've been paying homage to legends. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. He has the
there it is. The ticket.
I don't know where my Hartford one is somewhere, but you guys are covering Soundgarden songs, Chris Cornell songs, and it's not the first rodeo for you though covering the greats. And I want to get into some of that prior to King Ultramega first, a little bit about your past, so we can really understand your rock bonafides, if I can pronounce it that way. That's the European way, Paul, I'm told. Bonafides. All right, so let's talk about this. How and when did you meet and befriend these guys, your Portnoys, your Satrianis, and so forth and so forth?
Sure. I've kind of did things backwards in life. I was a 90s kid, man. I was in those cover bands playing Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Mudhoney, to Metallica, to Screaming Trees, to the Melvins, to Tad, to fucking I mean, my musical compass is broad. I love Pearl Jam just as much as I love Slayer, just as much as I love Stevie Wonder, just as much as I love Soundgarden. So I kind of go down a few different roads. So, of course, being in a band back then, being in, I always say I got my education in the streets of New York City, schlepping around gear and, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Bronx, Jersey, Manhattan. That's basically where I got my education. Fast forward, went to college, did pretty good there, graduated college, got a job in the music business, something I wanted to do. I graduated college one day. I remember it was on a Thursday, and I started work on a Monday. And I just got thrown into the fire. I don't want to say it was luck. I did put a lot of work into what I was doing on the business side of things. And the first artist I've ever worked with was Joe Satriani. He was the first person who not only befriended me, but welcomed me as a like-minded individual, if you will. And we still obviously have that relationship all these years later. It's been a long time now. And as the years were going on, I was moving up, less playing, more business, less playing, moving up. 2014 rolled around, and life was, some would say life was good, but I went through a lot of personal things, and shit wasn't good on the personal. It was actually very, very bad. And let's put it this way, one of the things that started King Ultramega was I could relate with Chris in certain aspects of life, and I quit. I stopped everything. It was, I'm done. Mike Portnoy, you mentioned Mike Portnoy. I had a relationship with him. He's like, you're not done. Dave Ellison, you're not done. All these guys I've befriended on the business side said, you have to do something. I don't know what that something is, but you got to do something. And at that point, I did a series of events, if you will, and performances based on the business side. Little did I know that these guys, they knew I could play. They didn't know really to what extent, what my musicianship was like, what my lyrical capability was like. Fast forward, we're writing the first Metal Allegiance record, myself, Mike Portnoy, Alex Skolnick, David Ellison. And Mike is the one who pulled out my lyric book. I didn't show anybody. I kind of held that thing close to the chest.
He rummaged? He was rummaging?
He was rummaging. And he's like,
Mike?
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck, dude? Now, if you know anything about Mike, usually in his bands, especially Dream Theater in the past, he wrote a lot of the lyrics. Mike was a lot, the primary songwriter. He's like, we got our lyricist, and
which is not easy to do in a prog rock band, mind you.
Yeah, no, it's not easy to do anywhere, man. Especially writing lyrics for a bunch of different singers, not knowing who they are, not knowing how they sing, their grammar, the way they pronounce words, the way they end a word with whether it's a syllable, a vowel, all these things you got to take into account. If you're writing lyrics for Phil Anselmo of Pantera versus a song from Randy from Lamb of God, two completely different singers. Mm-hmm. So how are you ending that line? And those are things I learned over years, and it was tough writing all those lyrics for all these guys. And but again, that came with time. So back, rewinding, Mike was reading my lyrics, and then Dave got a hold of the lyrics, and Dave's like, I got a title of a song. I was like, I got the lyrics for it, even though they weren't written yet. The shit just started flying. I mean, things were flying out of me. We wrote, recorded, mixed, mastered, signed a record deal, and released that first record in 9 months. Everything done in 9 months. With 26 musicians on it. It was a whirlwind, but that really that was the takeoff for me as far as crossing over into the barrier of, I still do the business side of things, but now I'm on the performance side of things. Now I'm tasked with not only writing music with these legends, because that's what they are, at least in my humble opinion. They're legends of their genre and legends of their instrument. But here I am, this dude from Long Island, that really doesn't belong in a room with these dudes. And I would say that to myself. I was like, I really don't belong here. I was the first one to say it. But, time went on, and I guess I stuck around, and I guess they dug what I was doing, because Metal Allegiance is going into our 12th year now. And, Joe, I toured with Satriani, which is another mind fuck, learning all those songs, and, all the sessions I've done, and, all the people I recorded with and written with. And, it's been interesting, man. And the one constant through all that was Chris Cornell.
Really?
He was the one. It's weird, man, because, as music fans, we always go through peaks and valleys. Like, there's always that one band that you just never really got away from. Pearl Jam, whoever it might be. Mm-hmm. Soundgarden is always, since I was a kid, man, since Ultramega OK came out, Soundgarden was never the band that ever left. I've been listening to them constantly since 1988. And
I'm surprised you would have known them out in the East Coast from '88, because they weren't really, they were clubbing, but they weren't like a fixture yet.
Yeah, well, we had growing up, and it's still there, which is awesome. There was a record store, an independent record store that had it all. I mean, they were you wanted to hear about something or find out about something or get introduced to something. This was the spot, Looney Tunes Records in West Babylon, New York. And they're still in business. They're our version of Easy Street Records, right? Mm-hmm. So Seattle has Easy Street, we have Looney Tunes, and I got introduced to everything. I mean, that store. If it wasn't for that store, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. I wouldn't have all this shit hanging on my walls or be doing what I'm doing. That they really kind of, that's where I learned about Black Sabbath and all the music that I love.
Now, it's interesting. You talked about how hard it is to sing, and really studying and understanding the way an artist enunciates and pronounces things, and the delivery, the cadence, all of that. Yeah. And you have had an opportunity to play with some really special musicians. And as you said, Chris was that one constant. So I have to ask, like, covering Chris, I mean, that has to be done right. Obviously, this guy, he wrote a lyric. It's become sort of this unofficial epitaph in some ways. No one sings like you anymore. How often did that lyric come to mind when deciding what path to go down sonically and song selection wise? Like, you're talking about 4 octaves that you're working with here.
It lives. No, what you say lives literally lives in my brain. I'll go to sleep at night, right? Especially currently. Thinking about that, thinking about the very point you just said. Not only do you have to think about his vocal capabilities, how he sang, how he delivered the song, but he was a hell of a fucking songwriter and guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you have that end to deal with. Right. And if you know anything about, which I know you guys do, but whoever's watching or listening, Chris was a drummer, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's based off, his vocal patterns and the way he sings. Listen to the time signatures of all those Soundgarden songs, 6/8 time, all different time signatures. So people wonder, especially me as a musician learning it, why is this song so fucked? What the hell is this rhythm? Listen to Chris. Chris is giving you the time by his vocals, and that all stems from him being a drummer. At least that's what I'm convinced with in going down this Cornell rabbit hole, if you will. And when we did Rusty Cage, man, we kind of like Metal Allegiance when MA started. It was supposed to be a few gigs, go on a boat, play some songs. See you later. Little did anybody know what that would turn into. Same thing with King Ultramega. We, Bill Kelleher and I during COVID, let's cover a song. Sure. And, I've always loved Rusty Cage. Loved the rhythm in that. And we did it. We got William. He got it. Billy got William. I got Charlie on board. And that was born. And then when Kim heard it, he was like, wow, this is cool. And he endorsed that original version. There was a little intro video clip of Kim saying, hi, I'm Kim Thale, and I improved this message or something back in COVID. And then Kim and I got to know each other through that. Mm-hmm. And we would talk a lot during COVID just about how he recorded, what life was like in the studio writing with Chris, to a lot of intimate moments with Chris and the band, and just things that most people probably don't know. And we got to talking, and I was like, man, we got to fucking play a song together. And I was like,
so this is how Kim gets on one of these songs.
Yeah. I was like, we got to do this. And I was like, I love this certain song.
You're not going to tell me what it is, are you?
Nope. Would you want to play this? And you could tell there was like that long silence, right? Where you're talking to somebody, you ask a question and they pause. It was that for like 30 seconds. And he goes, yeah, I would do that. And I was like, no fucking shit. Right. And then I texted Charlie and I'm like, dude, Kim's going to do this. He's like, and he was like, what? And I told Charlie, you got to record 4 more songs. He's like, what? 4? Right. And that's what Charlie did. The next day, or actually 2 days later, Charlie delivered 4 more fully recorded drum songs, sent one of them to Kim. Kim went to his studio in Seattle with Nate, who does a lot of the Soundgarden stuff. And he recorded the whole damn thing, which is crazy.
So what you're telling me is it's a Kim written song.
Mm-mm.
So it's a Chris written song, or is it a bench?
It's a Chris written song.
We're going to deduce this before the end of the show.
It's 100% Chris written song. Right. I'll give you that clue. Yeah, so that song's done, mixed. It's in the there's 5 songs done, complete at the record label, ready to go out. Right. So, what I can tell you is we're doing a total of 12 songs. There's going to be 12 tunes that some of the guests on this record is going to, the big deal. Some heavy hitters on this record, and I'm super excited about it. And what I can tell you is there's a certain member of Soundgarden that posted an Instagram story the other day in the studio. It was a very short clip.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
This member,
and I quoted it. I screen recorded what you're talking about, and I put, "What song do you think he's rehearsing?" I think it's Birth Ritual.
I don't know. Can neither confirm nor deny. But what I can tell you is,
you know what I'm talking about, though?
That said person is going to be a part of this, and his tracks are done.
Outstanding.
Tracks multiple.
There's quite a reunion of Soundgarden family a part of this project.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting. Well, look, you brought up Rusty Cage. Let's hang there for a second. Released a couple weeks back. First track from this group of rotating musicians. Talk to us about that initial phone call to get William on board. Why William for this song?
William's unbelievable. I mean, number one, he's an amazing vocalist, but he's an awesome dude. I mean, he is just the most humble, nicest. I mean, he is the sweetest person you could ever meet. I mean, he is all. I talked to him today for about 40 minutes. I was on the phone with him earlier, and we're just bullshit. Not about anything besides just bullshitting, right? Mm-hmm. And he's the greatest guy. I mean, he is just a great dude, you know, and that's why William really it's the person first before the vocalist, and I mean, he killed it. I mean, listen to what he delivered, you know, and if you think about it from his perspective, and I didn't think about this at the time, I just thought about this when we just re-released the song. Mm-hmm. I was like, shit, man, he fucking covered for Wayne doing that, and now he's doing Chris.
It's wild to think about.
It's very strange to think
I
about.
talk about the Mount Rushmore of voices from that era. This guy's doing both. That's nuts.
I never put the two and two together, man, until you know, a few weeks ago, and I read something somewhere where somebody said that first Wayne, now Chris. What can't this guy do, or something along? I was like, holy shit, that's right.
I mean, Cantrell knew something because I remember seeing him on the Degradation Trip tour back in, like, what was that, 02, 03, something like that. I think I saw him at Hammerstein, and he plays half the set is Chain songs. Yep. He's like, I remember my friend Will out, and nobody knew who Will was, really. We go, holy shit, I mean, obviously, like Chris, no one is Lane, but if you're going to do the part, motherfucker, he did the part. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And so when Chains got back together, naturally, it's got to be Will. So, and in this cover, Rusty Cage, that's a hard song to sing.
It is.
And he killed it.
He absolutely, and I remember getting that mix back in 2020 going, what the fuck just happened? Like, everything just changed. And which led to conversations with Kim, and you know, King Ultramega took, what are we in 2025 right now? That song came out in 2020. So think about how long. You know, 5 years is a long time, man. And
but you remixed it, right? Before, from then to now.
Excuse me?
Right? Did you remix it? Is that what I read?
Remixed it. I remixed it. I went in and tweaked a few things on a instrumentation, more so on the bass side, remixed it, remastered it, kind of did that whole thing. But again, you know, at that point, from when we first released Rusty Cage to it being released a few weeks ago, only 3 King Ultramega songs have been fully complete, mixed and mastered, that being one of them. And there were 2 others at that time. So if you think about it, took that long to do 3 songs. And that's more so on me. And going back to the point what you said before, do I really want to go down this fucking road and jump into the Chris Cornell sandbox of criticism and people saying, you can't fucking touch that shit, dude? Because I would probably be saying the same thing. It's like, dude, what the fuck you doing, man? That's tough shit, man. You know, there's a reason.
What's the phrase? If you're gonna come for the king, don't miss.
Yeah, man.
I mean, kind of the same thing.
But again, it was, I kind of, you know, I obviously I can't speak for Chris. I mean, he's, you know, it's, you know, whatever happened, but I've been where he's been. You know, I've been there mentally. I've been, I mean, completely checked out. I've been there physically. I mean, when I say I've been at the bottom of the bottom, here's the bottom, here's the ground, here's the shit under the ground. I was somewhere under there. Right. So, you know, I get it. And one day I just thought, man, it'd be cool to do this project and just fucking give away all the money to somebody. Because it's not about the money. It has nothing to do with me. And
we're going to get into that, into the proceeds in a little bit. But I want to tell you something, though. Go ahead. That
was the catalyst. That's what really, it was just like a moment of fucking clarity where I was like, man, I'm doing this. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know who's going to be involved, but I'm going to kind of shelve a few other things I have going on. I don't know why. I don't know where that moment in time was. I don't know what the song was. And it was just a progression of, I guess, occurrences that happened over those 5 years where we said, you know what, now's the fucking time, man.
Well, when you're thinking about all, because you said there's going to be 12 and you have 5 kind of in the pocket. Joe Satriani on one of these, I believe it was said that his guitar is the vocal melody on the track that he's on. That might be actually easier to emulate Chris than a person singing because of his octaves. You might be able to actually find that aura better with his guitar, no?
And again, crazy enough to ask him to re-record a Soundgarden song that he was originally a part of and on. Let me ask Joe Satriani to do a fucking instrumental of a fucking one of the most iconic vocal tracks of all time. It's like, what are you doing? But again, man, it's just these things go off in my head and I hear things and I hear certain things. And I heard Joe and I wanted an excuse to record something and do something again with Joe. We just got off tour. We had and Kenny Aronoff on drums on that. And
beautiful. Kenny's great.
And the three, I've known Joe forever. Kenny I've known a long time. They're just awesome people. And I just wanted an excuse to jam with Joe. And this song, as I remember I was running, doing my fucking crazy runs that I do. This song came on and I heard Chris's melody and then boom, I heard Joe. I was like, oh, that would be fucking cool. And then literally I finished my run. I called Joe. I got this crazy fucking idea. Don't hang up. and I told him, he told me I was crazy. He's like, no, dude, no. But I was like, just please trust me. I'm going to send you a demo. So I kind of did a half-ass demo. I did a half-ass thing of it and I sent it to Joe. Joe was like, I'm in. And then, it's one of my favorite pieces of music I've ever been a part of, period. On anything I've ever done. That's how I believe how good this came out. And it's 3 people on it, but it sounds like 12. And it's pretty fucking cool what we did. And that will be the next song being released. Just to give you
this episode comes out on August 12th. Will that song have already been come out or no? When does that come out?
Very early September.
Okay.
I think is the date. Yeah, there's a whole list. There's a whole calendar of dates and milestones. That's why I'm in literally full on King Ultramega mode right now, recording.
Yeah.
Just putting all the pieces together because again, 12 songs. It's quite the undertaking.
Are all of them picks? Are all the songs chosen?
All the songs are chosen, yeah. And each one I chose, and I did choose each song. More so for each song was chosen for a reason. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a fan of that song. It was a specific, whether it's a specific message, a lyrical message that Chris delivered in that song. It's going to be solo. There's going to be songs from his solo career material. There's going to be Temple. There's going to be Audio Slave, and of course, there's going to be Soundgarden. So you're covering, those. And I can tell you, the Temple tune is done. Audio Slave songs are done. One of the solo songs is done, and some of the Soundgarden songs.
Can you tell us how many of each?
Soundgarden more than any. There will be 2 Audio Slave songs. 2 solo songs from 2 different solo records. Mm-hmm. The Audio Slave songs are from 2 different Audio Slave records. Mm-hmm. Soundgarden covers kind of the spectrum. And Soundgarden songs kind of cover that's a larger discography.
Yeah, sure.
And again, picking 12 songs, not an easy task.
Not easy.
And if people dig it and it doesn't fall on its ass and I don't fuck this up, well, maybe there'll be a volume 2.
I'll tell you, man, people are going to dig it because you can play, because Joe can play, You know, I mean, obviously Kim can play, and I gotta say, I'd be remiss with Matt Cameron stepping away from Pearl Jam. Charlie Benante can play too. So, and I think that's a good thing, because covering Matt Cameron is not an easy task. So let's hang with the percussion here for a second here. Who else did you approach to play drums?
Nobody.
It was always going to be Charlie.
Charlie, and again, it wasn't by design. It was, we did Rusty Cage. Kim agreed to do a song. Charlie, need you. You do these 4, you know, and then from there, you know, all and those are the only. So Charlie's only on the total of those songs, but at that point with Joe, I was like, Kenny's. I mean, I love Kenny's a fucking legend. I mean, just look at his discography; it's absolutely insane.
He's also ageless, dude.
He's ageless, and his energy level for his age is.
Dude,
it's nuts.
I saw him last December at the Troubadour for Billy Gibbons' birthday bash. And he played, I must have been like a 4-hour set with like multiple different people just kind of hopping every 3 songs.
And
this guy's just doing the whole thing, the whole gamut.
Thing. Yeah, man.
Hardly breaking a sweat. I'm like, dude, I remember you from like 30 years ago rocking out.
Yeah. When you want someone to record drums in the studio, at least in my opinion, if you could get Kenny to do it, because you know you're going to get, number one, the most badass performance, but on the recording and technological side of things, you're going to get delivered beautifully laid out files to a grid, to an engineer and a mixer's fucking dream. I mean, which makes our lives as musicians, especially me playing bass, you know, to have drums just in the pocket, you know it's going to be right. You know it's going to be there. And granted, we took liberties on some songs. Some songs are not identical. Like, you know, again, you know, the instrumental we did, it is so far away from the original that, you know, and only Kenny could do something like that. And only Joe could do something like that. You know, Charlie, you know, as great as he is, we both agreed, let's kind of keep it pretty close to, you know, at least on the drums to
which is not easy. I mean, we had Dave Cruson on, and you know, he used the word machine to describe Matt Cameron. And it's not just because the guy plays and plays and plays and plays on these marathon tours. It's just the way this guy plays drums is not easy to replicate. And there's a reason Pearl Jam wanted him and had him for as long as they did, you know?
Listen, man, he's got a fucking groove and a feel that's really second to none, man. And especially when he gets that right hand going on that ride cymbal and he's cracking that snare, it's like fucking nobody could do it like that. It's just, I mean, and this is no disrespect to any other drummers or Pearl Jam drummers or anybody, but he has that feel, man, that is just only Matt could replicate.
I was saying on our Thank You Matt episode a few weeks back, I don't know if you caught it, but I thought that he kind of embodies a lot of what the other drummers in the band had. Versatility of Jack and the power and energy of Dave and the swing and feel of Cruson, and I all up into one for 27 years. And so to have him as like the ground floor of over half this tribute record, in a sense, because I guess I would assume it'll be a thing at some point. But there are only so many guys I could think that could really do it justice. Obviously, Benante can do it. Did you ask Portnoy? Did you ask Danny Carey, for example? Anybody else to try and handle some of this?
No, I really wanted to keep the. I mean, obviously, I could, if I wanted to, I could go into the Metal Allegiance Rolodex, which is pretty large.
That's why I asked.
I really wanted this. I want this to stand on its own.
Yeah.
You know, and I love Alex and Mike and Dave. You know, they're like brothers to me. But I need to be on my own on this, and I have this, and I'm fucking crazy with this project. I think the label wants to fucking kill me because I'm just highly critical on everything from the artwork to everything. It's just because I have this standard where I have this thing in my head, and I literally keep asking myself, what would Chris think of this? What would Chris think of this? Would Chris think this? How would Chris
it's not just Chris, it's you. It's the you talking to the guy who would have done this project 5 or 10 years ago saying,
Yeah.
well, you can't touch that. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
No, you're
you got
right.
two devils on each shoulder.
Yeah, man. And I feel bad at times where I'll write an email or answer a text or get off the phone and go, man, I feel bad. But it's just, if something just feels a fucking hair off, I'm like, no, it's just, we have to go back and find it where it's comfortable. And that's probably one of the reasons why it took so long to get this off the ground from then. And it took a while to release Rusty Cage, because I was sitting there going, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't, the artwork's got to be right. We need the right artist for the cover. The cover has to symbolize, it's just, if you look at everything that we've put out, there is a deep meaning behind it. And it's not just art for the sake of art, or video, or a message for the sake of a message. It's all tied in. And you're going to see that as, this is a year-long project, right? 12 songs, 12 months. That's kind of how I'm envisioning, so there's going to be a lot of stuff between now and a year from now, and you're going to see why I am probably going to go borderline crazy with this. But I just, and again, I just have this thing in my head. What would not only Chris think, but what are his fans going to think? What is his family going to think?
Right.
Vicky, what is she going to think? What are his kids going to think? What are all these people going to think?
Yeah.
And it's just, don't know why. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want any of the MA guys involved, because I don't want to get them in hot water or go, just in case something gets fucked up and, a song sucks and they, and like fucking Portnoy or, whatever. It's just, I'll bear the brunt of this, and they would probably fucking hate me after this process is done.
It's almost like the reverse. Like, usually when you're writing original material, people always ask, well, the songwriting process for this song, what was it like? Would you think about the fans, what they wanted? And like, no, I'm writing songs that I want to write, and hopefully they enjoy them, but I have to love the song. And this is kind of the reverse, where it's like, I already love the songs. Everybody loves the songs. We have to do them justice for them. Otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fucking Soundgarden. Bad Motorfinger, if I had to pick 5 records of all time, Bad Motorfinger's a top 5 for me. That's just what it is, and if you're touching that, you call it the Mount Rushmore, better be fucking good, man, or people are going to let you know. And
you mentioned, what would his kids think? As a parent, like, where does that variable factor in to the creative process? I'm curious, because we're all parents here. So I mean, when you think about it from that angle, there's a level of gravity that it's a different kind of gravity. You know what I mean?
Listen, I know with at least my 2 kids, and I see it in them, and you could tell they want to do dad proud. Right. They want to make dad proud. I could see that in them. They don't have to tell me that. I could see it, and you take the reverse effect. I want to make these kids proud. I want to be a good dad, supportive dad. And then you look at, Chris's children, and you go, well, they're reminded of something that, how they think, I don't know his children, and I don't want to speak out of turn. All I know is, as a musician and as a fan, I want them to, if they have heard these songs and when they do hear them, I want them to go, man, my dad was a fucking badass. He meant a lot to a lot of people, and hopefully if this music puts a smile on their face, hopefully they could smile knowing their dad was an awesome fucking dude. He was a brilliant musician, and he impacted my life, in a huge way, a huge way. And for that, I'm grateful for. So hopefully, everything I do is not only for his children, but, Vicky as well. And, he left behind Vicky and his bandmates, whether it's Audio Slave, Temple, Soundgarden, of course, and I just hope everyone digs it. And again, one of the reasons why all this money is going to Musicares, because if it could help somebody, that again, that's the ultimate goal here, is it helped me, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do this. So if I could help give something back, whatever that, I don't know what that something is going to be, but if that something helps somebody, then mission accomplished.
Yeah, you mentioned Musicares, and all the proceeds from this, as you mentioned, are going to go to that organization. I guess that they raise and provide mental health and addiction recovery services, right?
Yeah, addiction recovery, mental health services, medical services. If you've been in the business for a certain amount of time, and they need all the money they can get. They need all the help they can get. And
how did you partner with them? How did that start?
Talking to Kim, it was, I told him, I was like, listen, we're going to do this. I don't know where the money is going to go. I want it to go somewhere. I don't know where. And then Kim's the one who mentioned Musicares. He's like, I donate to Musicares, every month. And he's like, I believe that, they cover a lot of different spectrums, obviously mental health, but if you're sick or you need emergency services or, rehab, addiction recovery, they're there for you. I'm like, perfect. And I knew of Musicares. I wasn't too educated on what exactly that they did.
Sure.
And then our record label reached out to them and said, listen, this is what's going to happen. And they were just like, huh? And even on the physical record we're going to do, we have the Musicares logo right on there, all proceeds going to, and we have it set up that no money ever comes to any of us. It's what do we set for Musicares to the label, and we see everything, and it's just everything's going there. So it just bypasses all hands. It bypasses all hands. There's never a question on anything. And it's from proceeds to Musicares. There's that straight line there. And it's the cleanest way. It's the best way. And nobody could touch it. Nobody could ever, try to pillage from it. Nobody could ever do anything. And to me, that was the selling point for me. That's the only way I agreed to do this. So I don't want to see it. I don't want to even look at it. Nobody should look at it. Nobody should see it. It's from point A to point B.
Lots of songs released, right? Have you thought about like a record store release day, special vinyl release, something like that? Is that in the pipeline? Is that too tricky from a licensing perspective? Or you have? Okay.
No. There's. I could tell you one thing. There's two. What I know factually, there's going to be 2 vinyl releases. One certain vinyl release will be this year, and then the whole grand poobah of every song released will accumulate into one full length, hopefully something like that, full vinyl.
Outstanding.
So that is going to happen.
Very cool.
So if I'm doing math correctly, will that come out then next July or August?
That kind of depends on me finishing all these songs. We're releasing 3 songs this year. That's it. One of them's out already, Rustic Cage.
Right.
Yeah. And then once January kind of hits, it's going to be, every song's going to have its own campaign. Every song's going to be treated as a single, because again, I believe number one, every song was a single. Well, almost every song was a single, and every song should be treated as such. I didn't want songs getting kind of ignored, left off, just throw it on a record. Here's your 3 songs.
You dashed my hopes for Fresh Tendrils. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, right. Here are your 3 songs. Here's the rest, and have a nice life. It was, we're going to treat each song as a major single, and
That's
then
cool.
they'll accumulate into this one grand record. And again, of course, the label, they love this, right? Because they're getting all these fucking powerhouses, and they're like, when are you going to do volume 2? Did you think about the songs for? I'm like, fucking slow down, man.
You can't blow your load on the first record. You got to have some bangers on the second record. Like, all right, relax.
And listen, this could go on for a long time. Who knows? But my main mission right now is finishing what I got still quite the feat ahead of me. And my, I plan on finishing those. We're about halfway done with everything.
Okay.
And Actually, probably a little more than we're probably about 3/4 done with everything. So it's just finishing, getting that off to Josh Wilbur. He's doing all the mixing on everything, and just kind of going from there. And then once a song is final and the mix is approved, that's when we tie a date to it. It's when that final mix is done. That's when we go, all right, we're going to release that this date.
So, all right, let me ask you this then. If it's a 12-month project, we're going to drop these things once every month or so. Is there a possibility then that, I know schedules are hard to put together.
And I know where this is going.
Hold on. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get the other one. There we go.
Fingers
I'm
crossed.
ready for it.
Here we go.
I'm ready for it.
Okay. So, Christopher's birthday, July 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I was just up in Seattle. We had a whole weekend full of events celebrating Chris's 61st birthday. Next year, 62nd. And wouldn't it be nice if everyone involved got together at the Troubadour and played all these songs live?
That would be fucking awesome, man.
Huh?
Yeah, listen, I would love to take this to the stage for, I was funny. I was talking to Kim. I was like, dude, New York, Chicago, LA, Seattle. End it in Seattle. Let's do it. And
Let's do it. I'm there.
He's laughing. And there is nothing on the calendar. There is no.
Yeah.
I would put it this way. I would love to do a gig. And some of the musicians involved have mentioned it about doing it. But again, though, who the hell's singing all those songs? That's
the magic of Chris Cornell, right?
That's why it might only have to be one, and the stars align with everybody's schedules.
Yeah, it's a tough task, man, and
you could do it.
Being in the Metal Allegiance world, knowing how schedules operate, to get more than 3 singers is a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
So I would love to do it, though. The option's there. I'm hoping it does happen. I haven't really thought about it much as far as, all right, I got to try to plan a gig next, because again, my goal is just
finish the damn thing.
I got to get these songs done, man. And
I'll pencil you in for the Troubadour next year.
Listen,
at
the very least, I'm hoping there's at least just a Seattle show.
All right, fine.
And
let me ask you an off the wall question here. So I was listening to some live Chris stuff recently, and he's got that great cover of Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Right? It's fantastic. Can you think of a Soundgarden song or anything from Chris's catalog? I mean, whether it's solo, Audio Slave, Temple, Soundgarden, a song that you would love to be a part of that's reimagined? Because that cover of Billie Jean is nothing like the original. I mean, he made it his own in his own style. Can you think of a Soundgarden song or anything from Chris's catalog that you would love to kind of bring your style to, kind of do it a little differently? Or am I veering into that like sacrilegious zone?
No, is that a Satriani song though?
Well,
I don't know.
I did it once, right? So one song we completely 180'd it. I'm talking the song that Joe's on. So I kind of did it already. Right. But the 2 songs that come to my mind is Blow Up the Outside World. I have this whole vision, and that's not on this record. But I hear something. I hear something in my head on that song, not redoing it, but doing something like he did with Billie Jean, and then from the Chris's Euphoria Morning record, Preaching the End of the World. I hear
very cool.
So
see, that kind of thing never rubs me the wrong way, even if it doesn't land. It's one of those things where something spoke to you as an artist, and you took it to a different place, and that has never rubbed me the wrong way. Even when it feels butchered by somebody, it's like, well, all right.
No, I mean, listen, I think covers should be interpreted in a way of that musician is performing it, because that song is making them feel a certain way in a certain thing. And as a musician, it's very hard to, at least for me, I've always had a hard time playing identical to what's there. I physically can't do it. I know some can, but for me, I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but listen to Rusty Cage. It's not identical, and I tried to keep it pretty close, and it's just my hands and my head. And then I hear something with the drums. And when you have a different drummer, that's not Matt, it's just, at that point, if you try to make it identical, it's going to clash. So
and a lot of these songs are so ingrained in our brains. When I heard Rusty Cage, there's a couple of like fills. I was like, my brain was thinking it was going to go and do a thing, and then Charlie did something else. And I was like, okay. And then when you hear that, you start following like you, and then you start going down this path of like, wait a minute, this is not where it was. I was like, they're like sidecars, close, maybe veering, but not ever being quite the same thing.
Well, if you listen to the back half of Rusty Cage, I mean, I'm playing a bass wah. Really? That's all bass wah, man. It's just, I got this Geezer Butler kind of vibe going. It's very Sabbathy. Listening to how Charlie was playing that back half.
But down.
It sounded like Bill Ward from Black Sabbath.
And I was speaking of Sabbath, man.
I tried fucking bass wah here, and it worked. I was like, oh, this is cool, man. And
when Charlie put out that cover of Mother Love Bone's Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns, you were on bass for that. Like, what was that like?
That was around the same time, and we covered that at a Metal Allegiance show.
Really?
Oh yeah, and
with Mark Oz on the vocals, or somebody else?
With Mark on vocals, and I remember sitting in the dressing room because Mark, huge Mother Love Bone fan. I'm a huge Mother Love Bone fan, as is Charlie. We were probably the only three in the building that were huge Mother Love Bone fans. And,
play Bone China next.
Right? I love that.
And I remember sitting in the dressing room going to Charlie, I'm totally cool with doing it. I don't give a fuck, right? So just understand people are probably going to start walking out. Little did we know, everyone stayed and everyone was just kind of staring because Charlie, the great drummer, was playing fucking keyboard. Right? I'm next to him on bass, and then Mark's singing beautifully, and then we just carried it over. It was, again, that this music is ingrained in us. That Mother Love Bone record is, again, fucking perfect.
Yeah, it is. We just whole episode on Apple. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Stardog Champion. That song alone, when you look at that on the production side, and there's children in there singing, and that, what they did at that time, if you think about it, nobody was doing that, right? The way they recorded it, the production value of that, kids on record singing, the background.
Didn't Warrant have a group of kids singing on April 2031? You remember that song from Warrant, Dog Eat Dog? I could have sworn the end of that is like a choir of kids singing.
How about Aeroplane? Peppers, 3 years later.
It's funny. I actually wanted to, one of the songs that we just finished for King Ultramega, I actually referred to our engineer, Stardog Champion. I was like, I want to get a group of kids in here singing this chorus and doing
very cool
on this. And not that I got vetoed. I kind of vetoed myself, and I was like,
really?
I hear it. I was like, I don't know if I don't want to cross the line of Andrew Wood with Chris, and it's just, again, me thinking in my head going, what would Chris think of this? And I was like, I don't think so. I heard it. I think it could have been cool, but yeah, I always refer to Stardog with one of these songs that we did. I don't know why I hear it, but I do hear
it. All right. Mark, I'm so stoked that you got over and through whatever you needed to get through and over to realize that this was a thing that you needed to do, because I agree it's a thing that we all need, because when you think about what Chris meant to so many people, still means, as I witnessed firsthand in Seattle just a few weeks back, when we celebrated his birthday, like I said, it's almost necessary to kind of keep the torch lit.
Yeah.
Not that it would ever truly go out, because it can't. He's too great a talent and too significant a pillar in the rock community for generations. But to do this, I think, kind of adds another torch to the room, as it were. And from Rusty Cage, if that's the level, I'm fucking stoked, man. This is super idea.
I mean, we set the bar high with that, and that is the level. And I'm very excited. by some of the musicians on these songs, I think people are going to be completely fucking blown away. I do. I truly do. And when I listen to a mix and if I get excited, I'm like, all right, cool. Because there have been times where I'm going, start over. And there have been times where I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like hair in my arms standing up, like, holy shit. And that's the level, the hair's got to stand for me for that song to pass. And, listen, Soundgarden and Chris, it's been since what, 2017?
8
right?
years now.
And there's really not been a lot of Soundgarden music out there and not a lot of Chris Cornell music. And I just felt as a fan, some of this music needs to be heard, man. And if a kid goes in and buys Louder Than Love or Ultramega OK to Super Unknown or his solo, I love his Higher Truth solo record. I think that's a fucking brilliant
underrated.
Yeah. And if a kid can Euphoria Morning or Temple, if a kid could discover those records through this, and then again, that's the second mission accomplished. Mission 1, getting, supporting Musicares. Mission 2, introducing this music to a whole new crop of kids that maybe didn't get to see Chris or hear this music. We were fortunate, man, growing up in the 90s, man, was a fun time. And, I saw Soundgarden then, I saw Alice then, I saw Prode, I saw them all then, and I got to live it in New York. And it was awesome. I mean, music was vibrant then. And, obviously it's a long time ago now. And hopefully one of the reasons why I want to do a Seattle gig, right? I just want to experience playing this music there. I think that would be so fucking cool, man. And, so hopefully kids discover it and it brings in new fans for them. And we'll see what happens with that.
Well, I got to tell you, Mark, my daughter's a big Led Zeppelin fan, but it wasn't me playing Led Zeppelin for her that made her into a fan. It was her watching somebody cover Led Zeppelin songs at the Kennedy Center Honors. And it was her seeing the impact that Led Zeppelin was having on a whole different generation of people that she was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Play me more. So I definitely tip my cap to you for doing what you're doing. And I raise a glass to all those that said, no, you're not done. So.
No, I appreciate that. And that happened to my oldest son. He's like, Dad, have you ever heard this Chris Cornell acoustic record? I'm like, fucking yes. Have I ever heard that?
And who are you talking to?
Right. And he went into this whole thing where he's like, this song and that song. And
you just let that breathe, right?
To see them get excited by it.
Fucking cool, man. Right. Again. And, but that same kind of experience happened where he stumbled upon that himself, had nothing to do with me. And obviously I'm sure he's heard me. I mean, listen, you live in a house with your dad as a musician, you're going to hear a lot, you're going to get exposed to a lot of different music. And I'm sure subliminally he heard it, but according to him, he never heard that acoustic stuff before. And he just kind of stumbled into it. And it's from what he says, it's his favorite record ever.
That's awesome.
Wow. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing good stuff, Mark. And I'm looking forward to the next release. And I'm going to try and deduce what it is. And over the next year, I'm so stoked to have this celebration of Chris and all of his bands out in the forefront. So you're doing great stuff. King Ultramega, if I could say, I'm just so excited. Mark Menghi, thank you for joining us.
Of course, man. I appreciate you guys and everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you once again to Mark for coming on and chatting with us, staying up late on the East Coast, mind you. And the project King Ultramega, like I said, it's doing great work. It's paying tribute to amazing songs from Chris's litany of bands and solo work, and the money goes to Musicares. I mean, it's a win-win-win.
It truly is. Much respect, much appreciation for this project. And at the end of the day, listen, you have a chance to listen to fantastic music from fantastic musicians paying homage to a fantastic musician. So what's not to love?
Benante, Kenny Aronoff. I mean, Kim himself. And I think he didn't say it outright, but there's a person who I think who's also, well, I'm not even going to say, I'm not going to make anybody mad, but I have ideas in my head of who that could have been that Mark was alluding to. We're going to find out, though, in the coming months, the rest of these tracks, the rest of these 12 tracks. I'm very excited. I hope you are, too. If you're excited enough about this episode, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Paul, if they are listening to this only, what should they do?
They should rate, they should review, they should subscribe on their preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm. Feed it because we need it.
All of the stickers have been thrown. If you would like any more of those,
I've emptied the chamber, Jason.
You did. The clip has been emptied. We have links below donating to UNICEF, Patreon, the Pod Shop. This is a Pod Shop, another way to support the show. If you want to do all that, links are below, and we appreciate you for being here. So many great interviews are coming down the pike in other episodes. We got 10 anniversary coming up, No Code anniversary coming up. Pete Droge, singer-songwriter, on the show next week. Oh, I'm excited.
Cannot wait.
So excited.
The hits keep on coming, Jason.
They do. We're in the dog days of summer, but we're still marching on, and we'll see you right back here with Pete Droge himself next week. And until we do, you've been listening to or watching
The State of Love and Trust.